pre-training camp Vikings final 53-man roster projections. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. In training camp, we're on the cusp. We're on the cusp of it. So we're going to do one final 53-man roster projections for the Vikings before training camp. Because when training camp starts, we're going to do those every damn day.
It's 21 days away. So is that the cusp or is it on the horizon? I don't know. It depends the way you look at it. Before we get into this depth chart projection, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and comment as well. And if you got a couple extra bucks every month, become a YouTube member. It helps us out, helps you out. It feels great. Exclusive content and entered for some Onebar Lupagus swag every month. We're giving that away very, very soon.
Yeah, come remember, you see that big old join button on our channel? Click it. Boop. Let's go. And as always, comments, because I know there's people that are not going to agree with these, and that's fine because this is way too early and we'll be very, very wrong. Last year at this time, we had Armand Watts, Smith, Marset. We had everybody they were like locks. They were locks, and they were like cut immediately because they suck. So let's go to our projections for this year. You ready?
I think this is our second one, right? We already did this once.
We did one way early, like after the draft. So
and we'll do a few more before it's all said and done.
Oh, we'll do plenty more after every preseason game for sure. But ours is actually pretty close. Lupagus hasn't seen mine, but we're pretty much on the same page. But let's start with quarterback, and we've got all three making them.
Yeah, I think they do keep three. You know, there's this new rule where you can keep three quarterbacks and it doesn't count against the active day roster. So I think that helps Jaron Hall's chances of actually making the 53. So I do think it will be three quarterbacks kept this year.
You say Jaron Hall's like plural? Are there two of them?
I said apostrophe S is what I meant.
Apostrophe S. All right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, Jaron, they're going to keep three. Let's go to the running backs. Here's where it gets a little interesting. Yeah. So, and we're spot on here. We both have Nwangwu out of here, and this is just purely the fact that the kickoff return changed.
It did, and then Matt Daniels kind of talked it down in a presser. He didn't seem too affected by it, but if you got a guy like Brandon Powell or one of these undrafted rookies who can do it too, I just think Kenny, as good as he is, there's no real role for him on offense. So I think he's a tough cut, but he might be a realistic one.
Well, and he's one of the ones where it's like it might actually make sense to keep him. So I won't be surprised either way. Like, when we get into some of these positions, it comes down to the defensive line, the linebackers, the wide receivers. They're going to have somewhere where they just dig a little bit deeper on this one. And this one was a tough one for me. I actually had Nwangwu making it, and then I needed one spot to go, and he was the guy. And it was strictly for kickoffs.
I think for me, I ended up having an extra receiver and cutting running back, so that's why Nwangwu had to go.
All right. Well, speaking of receivers, let's go to wide receivers. And this is where we are a little bit different. Lupagus has us keeping 6. I got 5. We both have them keeping Thayer Thomas.
Yeah.
Last year they kept 5, and this will be this. I'll let you go first.
Well, if you get rid of Kenny, then I think you got to keep Brandon Powell around. I think he's going to be your kick returner then, at most likely. He'll be battling Jalen Reagor for that job, punt, kick return, maybe some Thayer Thomas mixed in as well. And then Thayer Thomas, he's just been this guy who's been kind of been the talk OTAs, working with the tools already. If you're going to keep an undrafted free agent rookie at wide receiver, Thayer Thomas is going to be the guy.
Well, and here's where I disagree. If you're going to keep like a Brandon Powell just for kickoffs, then you're going to keep Nwangwu, because we're not anticipating they're going to be running any kicks back. So if they're thinking they're going to take kicks back, then Nwangwu is staying. So Powell was an easy one for me to move on from, the fact that we're keeping Thayer Thomas because he's going to be a punt returner. So the Brandon Powell one doesn't make sense.
Well, it makes sense to me because you want to have a veteran receiver on the asset in this depth chart. You got Jefferson up front, and you got Osborne. So you keep one more veteran there. He can punt return. He can kick return. He can be multi-returner, and he gives you another spot in the wide receiver core. So that's why I think you hang on to him.
Yeah, I think if Brandon Powell makes a team, I think Thayer Thomas is gonzo. So I'm terrified, but this is a complete coin flip. I mean Powell, even the Tristan Jacksons, the Prohl's still hanging around. I mean, all these guys definitely have a chance. This is going to be a fun one to watch. But Thayer Thomas, Thayer, let's go to tight end. Spot on.
Yeah, and the battle to watch is Munt Muse. Who's going to win that thing? I think that's what it comes down to. That's the only intrigue here. Who is the third tight end? And I could definitely see Nick Muse, besting Johnny Munt to get that spot. It'd break our hearts, but it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, and they kept 3 tight ends last year. I expect them to keep 3 tight ends this year. Again, this is a tough one. I had Muse out there the first time, and I mean, Oliver's a great blocking tight end. Hawkinson's a great blocking tight end. Muse is not, but that's kind of Munt's thing too. So I could see Muse sneaking in here, but for now, going with Johnny freaking Munt.
Yeah, keep the veteran. You can let Nick Muse marinate one more year in the practice squad.
Marination. Offensive line, a little bit different here. I mean, the 5 starters are easy, and then you get into and Valerian Lowe. I think he makes it just because lack of competition. He really has nobody to compete against as far as the tackle position. We both have Alan Ali. What are you looking at?
I was trying to see the difference.
I got him keeping Schlotman. You don't. That's it.
Okay.
So Blake Randall. So Alan Ali sneaks on here as that guard / center that we both really, really like. Blake Randall's going to stay on the team. And I got him keeping Schlotman just because just more interior depth. And they seem to really like this guy.
Yeah, and I feel like he played well. One of those times he filled in. I think the other time didn't go so well. Chris Reed, we both have him out. Missed most of the year last year with injuries. And
well, even when he was healthy, they still didn't put him out there. So yeah, I don't get that. They must not like him.
Josh Sokol, I still think has a shot. We both have him out, but it wouldn't shock me if he made his way on the roster. And Jackie Chan was a guy a lot of our viewers seem to be very smitten with.
I think Jackie Chan is going to be a guy that is on the practice squad, and in 2 years from now, he could, at worst case, add some quality depth. All right, let's go to D-line. And again, very, very close. Phillips, Tonga, Lowry are slated as the starters right now.
Yep.
And Roy, the guy chomping at the bit, and you have Bullard. I just went with Blacklock.
And I think with that final spot, it's like pick your poison. Blacklock, Bullard, Lynch. It could be any one of those 3. And I think Kelvin Avery's the other guy who could be kept. But then do you really want to have that many nose tackles? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Blacklock, Bullard, Lynch. Just throw a dart.
Yeah, it came down to Blacklock or Bullard for me. Bullard actually played a ton last year. They like him, but the fact that they just gave some sort of compensation for Blacklock and he's still young, that's the only reason Blacklock is on my roster.
Absolutely, that's the spot to watch. I think the rest of this is pretty obvious.
Kept the same amount. Daniil Hunter, Hicks, Asamoah, and Davenport will be the starters. Patrick Jones chomping at the bit. Lupagus did keep DJ Wanham. I actually cut DJ Wanham in favor of the Young Bucks, Andre Carter and Luigi Villain.
Yeah, I sacrificed one from the interior to keep an extra outside edge rusher. I think that's probably Flores might do something like that. I went a little more veteran this time with Troy Macon over Ivan Pace inside. Maybe Pace can get snuck on the practice squad. You can keep him there. But other than that, I mean, we're pretty similar here. I just feel like there's going to be more edge rushers kept here.
Yeah, you have like one backup interior.
I do. I'm being risky.
That's risky. Some might say stupid.
Yeah, well, you can still pull up a guy from the practice squad.
No, and you're right. I think Pace isn't going to have to sneak on the practice squad. He will be on the practice squad if he doesn't make it. And there's some other interior guys. So, again, this is Luigi Villain. I think they love Andre Carter. Maybe they think he can't. Maybe somebody will snipe him. So, let's go to cornerback. Again, a little bit of a difference here. So Murphy, Blackman, and Evans as the starters, and then Jay Ward Booth. And you want to take Gowan. I'd love to hear this because this makes no sense to me.
Well, I just did it as a reminder that anybody can actually have a great training camp and make this roster. We got everybody focused and we're going with these, undrafted sexy rookies, maybe the free agent signing. But let's not forget a guy like Tay Gowan, who spent some time with the team last year, is still here. He could be a guy who surprises and plays well in camp and actually earns a spot on this roster. So I kind of did it as a curveball, but also just kind of a reminder, like, hey, let's just not forget about these guys who, these Kalen Barnes, the John Reeds, the Tay Gowans. One of these guys could sneak on this thing.
It's definitely a curveball. My curveball would have been John Reed, but I think Juwan Williams is going to stick. So that's I can't unless they keep 7. I don't know. But this is also a reminder. Like, look at these cornerbacks. I'm so glad we signed Byron Murphy, but this is horrifying. This is scary.
It is. It's very scary. It's going to be a lot of upside, a lot of bumps along the
Hope.
way,
I think the
but there
word
could
is a
be
lot of
some
hope.
a lot of hope. And I think it's that sixth spot. I mean, these five,
I don't give
I
a
think
shit
are
about the
pretty.
sixth spot.
Well, but I think that's the question mark. I think we can all agree those top five are going to make it. Just whoever is the sixth one is going to be the question.
Yeah, but I don't think that sixth one's going to make them any better.
No, but I think that's where the intrigue is. Yeah, as a whole, this unit is a lot of upside, a lot of potential, and a lot of inexperience. So there could be some headaches with this group.
Well, safety is easy peasy. These guys are going to make it. If one of these guys gets cut, it'll be very, 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 very surprising. So that's easy. And special teams, again, we were spot on. I mean, Jack Podlesny, we'll see what happens. It's going to come down how they kick in the games, hopefully. Like I want to see this one come down right to the end where they both do so damn good. We're going to be on pins and needles. Like, who the hell are they going to cut? They both ripped it up.
Yeah, let's not forget Greg Joseph had a great camp last year.
He had a horrible season.
I know, but he had a great camp. That's what worries me. That's what worries me. He was
hitting
that shit from 65 yards every day in practice.
So overall, we're pretty damn close. We're pretty damn close.
Some of the I know we're gonna do more. So some of these I kind of did more. I went a little more veteran on this one than what I really believe is going to happen. And obviously, when we start hearing nuggets and tidbits from practice, it's going to shape and shake this thing up a little bit. But I just tried something different this time.
Well, and one thing we've learned over the years is those nuggets and the guys that really stick out, don't believe them because usually they don't even come true, and they just throw a curveball at it anyways. So we'll see what happens. But that's our 53 as of now. Let us know what you have done different. Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, and also remember this: it takes 5 different parts of your brain for you to understand and laugh at a joke.